Welcome to the Weaver Sews. I'm Daryl Lancaster, and welcome to a Monday Mini. I used a bamboo point turner from my Chatelaine, a belt I would always pack when I traveled to teach, which contained all of my favorite sewing tools. The word Chatelaine comes from a French word meaning the keeper of the house or castle. She would need all sorts of keys and implements that would help her execute that role, and they would hang from a hook or clip that attached to a belt around her waist. In the last half century, chatelaines have become popular with people who sew or do creative work as a way to keep tools handy. And instead of clipping to a belt, chatelaines are now more popular as something worn around the neck. Years ago, before there was an internet and catalog shopping was a real thing, there was a company called Amazon Pickling and Drygoods Company. It had no relationship to today's behemoth Amazon. It was a wonderful catalog full of all sorts of things that reminded you of a time when domestic activities were an important part of living. In that catalog, they featured sewing tools that were designed to hang from a contemporary or traditional form of chatelaine. I did a quick search for the company, and it is still there, called AmazonDrygoods.com. But they mostly sell historical patterns, good to know. I only found a few sewing tools like small scissors. There are shops on Etsy with vintage reproductions of sewing tools, and an afternoon searching on the internet might find some reasonable facsimiles. So let's see what I have on my chatelaine. First is the actual neckband. I'm a weaver, of course, so it would make sense that I have woven my neckband. I did this one on an inkle loom, which allows for some beautiful warp face bands like you see here. Keep in mind, I've carried this around for years and worn it a lot when traveling to teach. Many of the attachment cords are wearing thin and need replacing. It is on the list. So let's start at the base here. This set of tools I purchased from Amazon, Pickling, and Drygoods Company. And as many years as I've been using these tools, I can never remember which one is in which holder. And invariably, I go through all four before I find the one I want. This one contains a needle threader. This one contains a seam ripper. And this one contains needles. And last, this one contains a stiletto. This is my favorite point turner. This one is very old. I've had it for a long time. It's really worn. It is a point turner from bamboo, and I keep it attached to my chatelaine. You might recognize this. This is a strawberry. Typically, you would see it attached to a tomato from the same fabric. The tomato contains whatever's necessary to support pins, but the strawberry is actually an emery, and it is used to help keep your needles sharp. Because we always need tape measures, this one is a tape measure that's retractable from my favorite go-to place for used weaving equipment and other weaving supplies. Oh, hello, Mulder.
I know, Mulder. Come here. I don't want you to mess up.
This retractable tape measure is from my favorite go-to weaving center and supply place. Eugene Textile Center. They're in Oregon, but it's my go-to place for any used equipment that I might need. My late mother-in-law loved to make these little petty point pin cushions, and she gave me this one many years ago. I've treasured it, especially since it had a picture of a spinner with a spinning wheel. So there's my pin cushion. And these little charms at the top were given to me by a student. And of course, they needed to be on my chatelaine. Working around, of course, I have beeswax, which is incredibly important to me as a person who sews a lot by hand. I do have a video on hemming, and you'll see me use the beeswax in that. This is my favorite ruler, a little 6-inch seam gauge. I have them all over the house, and of course attached to my chatelaine. This is very convenient. It is a set of quick clips. This is by Ginger, and this one was great because it had a little hole at the top that you could attach it to a chatelaine. This, of course, is another tool that I purchased from Amazon Pickling and Drygoods company years ago, and it is actually a thimble case. This holds a thimble that fits my finger well, and it's always handy when it travels. This little piece of wood here is called a set gauge. That's S-E-T-T. Weavers know what this is. We often want to check out a cloth and see how many threads are in an inch or 2.5 centimeters. So we can easily hold this up and count. And last are my absolutely favorite embroidery scissors. These are by Ginger, and this is an older type. The blades on this pair of scissors are much thinner than the ones they make now. The points are excellent, and this is probably my most favorite pair of small scissors, and I keep them safe here because when I go to rip things out, I'm always working the points of the scissors, and they need to be really sharp. It's important, though, to never have sharp scissors hanging from around your neck. I can attest to why that's important after having scratched my cornea when I whacked into a door frame when this was on my neck. So I always keep the leather sleeve that the scissors fit into firmly attached to the chatelaine so there won't be any accidents. You can use any purchased ribbon or even a piece of grosgrain to create your own chatelaine. Or, if you are a hand weaver, think about using an inkle loom to create your own custom band. I have a monograph on beginning inkle weaving in my e-shop. The link is below. Thanks for watching my Monday Mini. I'm Daryl Lancaster for The Weaver Sews.